finally here, the first ever Badminton Talk podcast, recorded on the 21st of January 2021 from Terenure, Dublin, Ireland. Welcome, everyone, wherever you are, to our first Badminton Talk podcast, brought to you by mymobilebadmintonshop.ie, and of course sponsored by the Q Shuttle. My name is John Noble.
And my name is Mark Topping.
Hi Mark.
Hey John, how are you?
I am great. Let me introduce our listeners to Mark Topping. Who is Mark Topping? Well, apart from being a tall, fit and athletic looking person, he is steeped in badminton history, representing Ireland 54 times between 1994 and 2007. Mark is a qualified BWF coach and currently competes on the Master Circuit and Irish Senior Circuit. Mark took a silver medal in 2017 at the World Championships in India, my goodness, with partner Graham Henderson. Another silver medal with Debbie Miller of England in the mixed doubles. In 2018, Mark was awarded by Badminton Ireland the Coach of the Year. Can we say anything more about Mark Topping, who not only does he do all that, but he coaches on the badminton courts in Dublin, outside Dublin, everywhere. Can I introduce you to Mark Topping? Hi, Mark.
Hey John, thank you very much for that incredible introduction, and it's great to be here and finally have our Badminton Talk podcast, which I hope all badminton fans in Ireland and across the world will tune into, John.
Absolutely. And by the way, Mark, if any of our listeners wish to drop us a message or comment on our podcast, they can do so by sending us an email on john@mymobilebadmintonshop.ie
or mark@mymobilebadmintonshop.ie.
They could also comment on our social media channels, particularly, Mark, our Facebook page.
Yep, John. And now, John, you gave me such a generous introduction. I think the listeners, need to be introduced to John Noble. Who is John Noble? A lot of our listeners would probably know you through your two up-and-coming juveniles, especially in Ireland, playing a lot of juvenile tournaments, but you also have been going over to England a lot since 2015 at the ages of 9 and 11. John himself is playing 35 years.
Steady on, Mark.
That's a long time, John. And took up the sport after graduating from college in marketing and qualified as a lifeguard at the age of 15.
Well, Mark, when it comes to water, I'm safe there like you are on land on a badminton court.
Good combination, John. John competed in many of the graded tournaments in Ireland back in the day and won an A tournament in 1991.
Well, Mark, that's when the scores were really, it sorted out people. It was when it was up to 15 and you had to have control of the shuttle to win the point. Do you remember that?
Yeah, you had to serve to get a point.
Serve to get a point. That's the way.
Long matches.
Yeah, long matches, exactly. In those parish halls around the country, I remember.
Yeah. John has won master titles in Ireland at both the under 45s and under 50s in single specialist, and is also a qualified BWF coach. Is that good enough for you, John?
Well, excellent, Mark. And to be quite honest, it's good to know that you're honest.
Always, John. You know that from me.
Well, thank you, Mark. Just to let our listeners know, each episode of our Badminton Talk podcasts are, of course, sponsored by the Q Shuttle, which we are grateful for. And we have to keep all our podcasts, what we said we would, to 15 minutes, Mark.
Yeah.
So is that okay with you?
Yeah, John. I know you're not shy of a few words, so let's get into it. Come on.
Well, look who's talking. Anyway, let's go, Mark.
Great, John.
Okay. Good. Well, look, the theme of our podcast is something which, Mark, you are interested in, I am interested in, our listeners are interested in. It's money, 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 money. We all need money to live, to survive, to exist.
Touche, John.
Yeah, money makes the world go round. Mark, could you spare me a few quid?
Yeah, my interest rate's at 10% per month.
Ah, well, Mark, look, I tell our listeners this is truly the legendary Mark Topping, looking for interest on and off the courts.
Okay, John, let's go. Come on.
Okay, listeners, we'll get serious because of the 15 minutes. Well, actually, we're down to 9 at this stage. We wanted to explore the subject of money in badminton. Can you make money playing badminton? How much can the average player make? If you're a top Irish player, can you make money? Can you make a living? Think of the sacrifices many badminton players make, especially when they are young. And you know, what's good guidance for them and their parents, families and friends? So Mark, what are your thoughts on this subject now that you're a stone's throw away from collecting the pension?
Hey, steady, John. That's a bit rough, but anyway, I'll live with that. Right, John, yeah, what do I think? Yes and no. Yes, there is money to be made at badminton. Things have changed hugely. I go back to an era where money was in very short supply, and I can tell you, and our Irish badminton team would maybe going off to the Thomas and Yuba Cups, and we would have maybe 4 weekends of training a year, and sometimes, if we were very lucky, we might get a guest coach come in from England. That's how short of resources we were in my day.
Oh my!
And so so things have definitely moved on, and there is a lot more money in the last 20 to 25 years coming into badminton.
Mark, it's great to get your thoughts and opinions, and I'm going to ask you to listen to a few more in a second. But look, thank you for that. I want to mention to our Badminton Talk listeners on this podcast, which of course, as you know, is sponsored by the Q Shuttle, that in preparing for this podcast, Mark, you know, we had to do our homework. So we asked a number of badminton players for their thoughts on, can you make some money on playing badminton? So, Mark, I'd like to start off and listen to our first contributor, who is, we know Ray. He's Ray, a member of Mount Pleasant Badminton Club.
Ray Vader, yeah.
Ray Vader, that's right. And I recorded this a couple of days ago, so let's play this. Mark, give me your comments.
Hi, John. Can you make money from badminton? It depends what you mean by making money. If the intention is to get rich, I would think not. But if the meaning is to make a living out of badminton, be it coaching, be it playing, then yes, absolutely. And there's many examples that we know of. From my own experience coaching in London, there came a point after 2 years of building up a good reputation that I was charging a fair amount of money in terms of coaching sessions. But at that point, I decided to, as you know, leave, come to Dublin to pursue career neuroscience. But I think I had enough things going for me that I could have continued and maybe even expanded on the sessions I was doing. But I do believe that it's like a popular singer, popular band, that you have your time in the sun, and after a while, I think the popularity or the attention you get, the demand will actually wane with time as new coaches and new players come online and offer maybe a different, fresh perspective. So I also think another aspect is the examples that I have in mind of those who have post their international playing career, who have made it, continue to make it as coaches, popularly enough to make a good living out of it, tend to be European. And I reckon one of the major points, one of the major explanations for that might be a language barrier as well. So can you make money out of badminton? Can you get rich quick? Can you get rich from badminton? I would think not. Can you make a living out of coaching and playing badminton? I think so.
Okay, thanks very much, Ray, for that. Mark, any thoughts?
Yeah, very thoughtful and considered and very accurate reality check. You've got a few more, haven't you, John?
I do, yeah. We'll move on to our next contributor. We know Norman Pontinosa.
Yeah, know Norman very well. He's got 2 outstanding teenage badminton players, Pamela and Vinny. Tremendous prospects for Irish badminton.
Yeah, very hardworking. Now, we caught up with Norman a couple of days ago, so this is what Norman had to say on can you make money playing badminton.
Hey John, how's it going? You asked me a question if you can make money playing badminton. My answer is just simple. Of course you can make money playing badminton, especially if you're one of the top players in your country. So competing national tournaments or international kind of tournaments, winning them comes with prize money. So obviously, when you're winning tournaments, the sponsors will come after you. So they'll offer you to wear their merchandise, use their merchandise, and probably give you some amount of money from the sponsor. So that's my answer, John. Hopefully that's good enough. Talk to you then. Bye.
Hey, Norman,
Yes, I think that was Norman telling us what he thought of making money. Any comments on that, Mark?
Yeah, Norman has been around the juvenile circuit, especially for the last 5 or 6 years, so he's spot on with a lot of his comments and perceptions.
Okay, we'll make more comments overall on our contributors. Let's put one more in. We caught up with Sam McKay. Sam McKay is one of Ireland's most talented juniors. A few years ago, when he was much younger, he's still a junior in the sense he's now in his early 20s, and he coaches a lot, especially juveniles. And he was very good to contribute to this. Mark, can you read out what Sam told us?
Yeah. Sam sent in us an email, so here is Sam's email.
Sam McKay, that is, of course.
Yeah, Sam, super coach. As a player and a coach, I believe yes and no to being able to make money in badminton. As a player, you have to be in the high ranks, maybe top 10, to make a really good career and support yourself afterwards financially. I see a lot of players traveling around having to look for sponsorship or self-fund themselves. In terms of coaching, yes, you can make money from it. And some people say, wow, that's easy, handy money. But when coaching is done right, yes, you can make a normal bit of money, but nothing spectacular. But it's really tough work. And this is just from my experience.
Yeah.
I think badminton lacks a huge amount in the financial side unless you're at the real top of the game. Signed, Sam McKay.
Oh my goodness, that Sam, so accurate. I mean, he is so right. I think sometimes people look at coaches. I could be wrong, Mark. You think, God, they're earning so much money. They forget what they have to do, the travel to the different venues.
Yeah, I would totally agree. There's a huge, what people don't realize that with coaching, there's a huge amount of preparation work that goes into before you even go to the session, before you're even on the court. You're thinking about the strengths and weaknesses and planning sessions. So a huge amount of work.
And you could be on the court, Mark, for many hours a day, standing up from 9. And have you been 9 in the morning till how long could you be on the court?
I would do pre-COVID. I was maybe doing 5 or 6 hours a day on the court coaching. So it's a lot, but there's a lot of preparation work going into that beforehand as well.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, now our listeners here to our very first podcast, Badminton Talk, sponsored by the Q Shuttle. Mark, we're going to have to take a pause for this first podcast because
that was quick, John.
That's 14 minutes. I think I spent too much time introducing you at the start.
Maybe.
No, but you did deserve that. So we will continue on. Of course, we'll be posting our second podcast and we'll continue on. We have a couple more contributors. Mark, can you name a few of the others that have that are contributing? One I see is Ray Webster.
Yes.
Also,
we've also got Kate Frost, who's going to contribute, and Jack Frost from Hong Kong.
Jack Frost. Okay, so we will continue with their contributions in podcast number 2, Mark. And again, this podcast has been brought to you by mymobile.badmintonshop.ie and sponsored by the Q Shuttle. Mark, I'd like to thank you.
Thank you, John. No,
okay, and I think we'll give ourselves a round of applause and thank our listeners. We'll see you podcast 2.